How do you even guard this shot? Or this one. James Harden and Luka Doncic have perfected the art of the step back, making defenses across the league look helpless over and over again. They're not the ones who invented the step back, nor are they the first to perfect an unguardable shot. Manu Ginobili brought the Euro over from Argentina. Kareem won 6 championships using this beauty. And Hakeem was putting defenders to sleep with his iconic Dream Shake. But none of these shots are even close to as popular as the ever-evolving step back. In 2019, the move screams Harden or Doncic, but they're simply redefining a shot that has been used for decades. So, who really started the step back craze? Who is responsible for driving 4th grade travel basketball coaches crazy? The truth is, the first time we saw anything like today's legal travel was in the 80s, and there are a multitude of big names who have a case for bringing the unstoppable shot to the party. I'm Frank Smith, and this is the story of how the step back was born, a ClutchPoints original mini-documentary. First up, Larry Bird. He entered the league in 1979 with an immediate offensive impact, using his 6'9" frame to get off his lethal jumper. The step back was definitely in Bird's repertoire, just look at this move on Dominique Wilkins. But Bird wasn't relying on the move. He was more fond of the fadeaway, simply leaning back and shooting over them. No explosive step required. Something all casual, like this. As you can see, Bird isn't really taking that important step that step back specialists rely on. It's more of a, you can't touch this, I'm going to shoot over you shot. So while he might have used the shot, it wasn't his specialty. Eventually, the move would find its way to Michael Jordan, but it went through one more iteration in the 80s before his airness. Kiki Vandeweghe, the son of a former NBA player in 1952's Miss America, entered the league in 1980. Because he was only 6'8", he was not tall enough to contend with the behemoths of the 80s or fast enough to consistently get around them. His strength was footwork, so he used it to get a more open look while shooting jumpers. Vandeweghe used his front foot to propel himself backwards, creating separation between himself and the defender. Sound familiar? Legendary coach Pete Newell dubbed this the Kiki move, but today it is better known as a step back. That being said, I'm in favor of reverting back to calling it the Kiki instead of the step back. Just imagine the announcer being forced to end his call with, "And Harden hits the Kiki." Drop a comment if you're with me. Now, it's obviously not the thing of beauty that this next guy perfected, but he was one of the first, so credit to Kiki. Michael Jordan. We can't make a mini-doc about revolutionizing the step back without bringing up Black Jesus. Come on! While he might not have been the first to use the move, Jordan was the one who perfected it. The once gimmicky shot became an art form. Jordan used it often on the way to 6 championships. Just tell me this isn't a thing of beauty. Jazz fans, close your eyes. For a boy that was born in Philly just 6 years before Jordan was drafted, the shot was enthralling. In the upcoming years, he would do the best MJ imitation we'll likely ever see. Kobe Bryant. Now, before anyone starts hyperventilating at the GOAT conversation, this is solely a focus on how close someone has come to shadowing Jordan's moves. And Kobe was the best we've ever seen. As in, he literally wanted to be Michael Jordan in every way. The moves, the attitude, the look. Everything but quitting baseball to get a cream puff minor league baseball contract. Uncanny. And last but not least, the dagger imitation. Bryant relied on the jumper throughout his career, oftentimes increasing the degree of difficulty by having 2 or even 3 defenders draped all over him. At his peak, this was no problem for the Mamba. Anything less than 3 guys on him probably meant the ball was going up from an impossible angle after the picture-perfect move. While Kobe did the best Jordan imitation, this next guy blazed his own path and created one of the most unstoppable shots in NBA history. Dirk Nowitzki. The step back was designed to help players get some separation for their jumper, usually by shorter guys. So what happens when a 7-footer masters the move? A Hall of Fame career and a shiny championship ring happens. Dirk modified the older move slightly. He leaned back and launched the shot, but it was off one foot with the other slightly bent. It was a weird second cousin of the original step back, but just as deadly as its relative, if not more. It frustrated opponents to no end. It was untouchable. He played 21 seasons, and the only record of that shot being blocked on the internet consists of a 1.5 minute long video of 3 guys blocking it. 3. Ever. Dirk's iteration received the biggest compliment of all when it was copied by one of the greatest to ever play, Kevin Durant. Dirk's one-footer will likely be remembered as fondly as the skyhook, the dream shake, and the Karate Kid's crane kick. So fondly, in fact, that the Dallas Mavericks will put a silhouette of Dirk shooting the iconic shot on the American Airlines floor for the 2019 season. The next man to really rely on his step back is easily the most controversial and the most hairy. Buckle up for the beard. James Harden. Yes, it's very, very close to a travel. It's almost never called, and it has been one of the most deadly shots in the league for 5 years now. James Harden has rejuvenated the step back and surprisingly made it one of the most efficient shots in the game. Last season, Harden scored an average of 1.09 points per possession on the step back three. Now to put that in perspective, the Golden State Warriors averaged just 1.1 points per possession last season. Harden almost matched their efficiency, shooting the most difficult shot in the game. Now Harden gets a lot of flack for his zero step, that many think should be counted as the first step en route to a travel. But if the refs aren't calling it, Harden would be a fool not to keep using it. Basically, we went from a step back to one footer to zero step backs or something. Math and evolution, it's a hard combo. So, there you have it. A look into the development of one of the most iconic shots in the NBA. Huge thanks to all who watched and to the tremendous team at ClutchPoints who produced this. I'm Frank Smith. You can follow me at FMS_Frank Smith and follow ClutchPoints at ClutchPoints. Another side note, if you're not subscribing to us on YouTube, you're missing out. All of our best content is here. If you love our pages on IG and Facebook, I can guarantee you'll love the YouTube channel. Until next time.